So I officially stayed at every RIU in Punta Cana, and in this video, I'm ranking all of them from worst to first. And unlike every other top 5, top 10, top whatever video on YouTube, I actually stayed at these places. Not a walkthrough, not a tour, each one for a minimum of 4 nights. And I did everything at every property. The pools, the beaches, the restaurants, the bars, the nightlife. And in this video, I'm ranking all of the RIUs from worst to first. Full videos linked below. This is just the Cliff Notes. RIU Bambu has over 1,000 rooms. It's one of the largest resorts in all of Punta Cana. It's also one of the cheapest, if not the cheapest. So that right there should paint a pretty vivid picture of what staying there is like. There is a lot of action and a lot of energy. If you are family oriented and you are still looking for some liveliness and some electricity, RIU Bambu is the spot for you. All of these RIUs are in one general area. 4 of 5 are in one major complex. All of the beaches are fantastic. There's some of the very best beaches you're gonna find throughout all of Punta Cana, but not all are created equal. RIU Bambu's is a standout. The strand is wide. It goes on for as long as the eye can see. Finding a spot to call your own is not a problem. It's also extremely affordable. As I said, I stayed there for $100 a night. Couples can stay for as low as around $170. That's including taxes and fees. It's tough to get just a decent room for that rate, let alone an all-inclusive with all the food and drinks included. And you also have a ton of access. You get access to the RIU Party Zone, which has 4 crazy parties each week, 2 during the day, 2 during the night. That alone is worth $100 a night. So a ton of value when you stay at RIU Bambu. As far as the negatives, it is massive. It's the second largest RIU I've ever been to, right behind RIU Santa Fe and Cabo. It's like a sprawling mini housing dorm complex. It's extremely confusing to navigate right away. Walking to the lobby and beach, depending on where your room is, can take as long as 10 or 15 minutes. It's absolutely a monster of a property. Also, it is ruckus. It is loud. It is very family frat party oriented. You're gonna see laundry hanging over the balcony, people in the hallways partying, talking with their stereos at 2 a.m. Pools have action all the way up until the early morning. It's an extremely loud property. The rooms are terrible. They are in dire need of some TLC and a facelift, from the brown towels, to the cracked and chipped mirrors, to the TV that's not working, to the stained sheets. And lastly, the food and the drinks are extremely subpar. RIU in general is not known for their food and drinks, quite the opposite, but RIU Bambu's is at the very bottom of the totem pole. In life, you get what you pay for. You get a ton of value for your money at RIU Bambu, but still you get what you pay for. It comes in at number 5. Number 4 is RIU Palace Punta Cana. This one shocked me, a lot like RIU Palace Mexico did. I thought because this RIU Palace carried the namesake of Punta Cana, that it would be the flagship property, but it's not. It's coming in at number 4. In terms of positives, it has that traditional gorgeous RIU Palace design. It has the regal lobby with the cathedral type ceilings, the towering columns, the gorgeous chandeliers, the stained glass. It also has the classic RIU Palace grounds with the lush courtyards that go all the way to the pools and to the beach. I also like the mansion design where it kind of surrounds and encases the courtyard. It has an east and west wing. It's a very intuitive layout. The whole property is very easy to navigate. This is a palace property, so it's going to be a little laid back, but even for a RIU and a RIU Palace, it is extremely relaxed. It doesn't have that in-your-face, constant, sometimes exhausting energy that you're going to find at other RIU properties. I think that is a good thing. And because it is a palace, it sits on top of the RIU portfolio, you are going to get an uptick in experience, and that includes the service, the food, the drinks, and just the overall property. In terms of negatives, the first glaring one for RIU Palace Punta Cana would be the rooms. It's that first generation RIU style that is extremely outdated and long in the tooth. It's got the wood bed, the outdated furniture. It's just extremely drab compared to the fresher RIU Palaces that you'll see upcoming in this video. Also, I thought the pool design was both awkward and small. The main pool is severely undersized given the scale of the property. The activity pool is pointless. It was vacant, really underutilized. RIU Palace Punta Cana, it is a family property. It is relaxed, but given all of that, it is a RIU, and the nightlife was extremely underwhelming. And to put a punctuation point on that, it just didn't have as much life. It didn't have that RIU soul. It didn't have that RIU energy or vibe that you typically almost always get when you walk into a RIU property. It bears the name of the city. I thought it was the flagship. It is not. RIU Palace Punta Cana comes in at number 4. Number 3 is RIU Palace Bavaro. This is the flagship, at least according to RIU. They combine the old Naiboa property and the previous RIU Palace Bavaro into one flagship RIU. I like the motif. It's fresh, it's modern. I like the whites and the earthy tones. Gone are the in-your-face reds and oranges and neons. It's a very comfortable place to be. Just like the lobby, the rooms are extremely comfortable. It's the same motif. Whites, off-whites, earthy tones. The bathroom has a water closet. My Elite Club room had a wonderful selection of liquors. The bed was comfortable. Overall, the room was clean and fresh. Compared to RIU Palace Punta Cana, the food at RIU Palace Bavaro is superior. In fact, my meal at the Elite Club restaurant is the very best meal I've ever had at any RIU, period. And RIU Palace Bavaro, its flexibility is really noteworthy. It's a family hotel, but there's also an adults-only option. If you want to take that to the next level, there's an upgradable Elite Club with its own dedicated pool, restaurant, and lounge. The main pool is extremely stylish with its multi-butterfly design. There's an adults-only pool. The beach stretch is extremely large. Events during the day and night. It has perfect balance, whether you're going there with the family or you're going there as an adult. The flexibility of the hotel is really one of its greatest attributes. In terms of negatives, it's my least favorite beach of the RIUs in Punta Cana. The stretch is large, but it's an awkward segue from the pools to the beach. There's a lot of cultivation to navigate through. It isn't the best RIU experience in Punta Cana. Also, the drinks were terrible. They were icy, they were bland, they were watered down. Again, RIUs are not known for their drinks or for their food, but at a palace, especially the flagship, the drinks were extremely, extremely disappointing. The restaurant reservation system was frustrating, if not nonsensical. I don't want to get too deep on this one, but if you upgrade to Elite Club, which is the highest tier of guests there, you only get 2 reservation choices per night. I think it's like 6 and 8 p.m., while the rest of the guests on property, the general guests who aren't paying extra, can walk in at any time. That to me was frustrating. And overall, the property was just inconsistent, extremely inconsistent. Restaurant hours, showtimes, events, bar openings and closings, all posted incorrectly. I feel like I had to call the embassy just to get my minibar stocked. My room, although great, definitely had gremlins. No phone, no TV, no internet. And the filtration system, or AC, made this disturbing hissing sound the entire time. RIU Palace Bavaro definitely provides a glimpse into the future of the RIU experience. While I liked a lot of what I saw, I hope it is just a glimpse and not the complete vision. It comes in at number 3. Number 2 is RIU Republica. For the longest time, this just wasn't my favorite RIU in Punta Cana. It was my favorite resort in Punta Cana. Only those that have stayed there understand my high regard for this property and how amazing it is. It's not the luxury, it's not the room, it's not the food, it's not the drinks, it's the experience. I will never forget my first stay at RIU Republica. I actually had no idea what the property was. It was $99 a night. I booked it as a joke. And it turns out the joke was on me for judging a book by its cover. In a lot of ways, this is a unicorn resort. Imagine your favorite pool party, beach club, late night spot with an outgoing, warm, and electric crowd sharing the same energy and passion for travel, tropics, and turning up. RIU Republica is geared towards adults. It is an adults-only property with youthful energy and a penchant to party. Are the food and the drinks good or bad? I've said both. My answer would be yes. Compared to Secrets Cap Cana or Excellence, The food is insulting. But at 1/5 of the price of those resorts, the food isn't nearly as bad as people report. I eat everything from McDonald's to Michelin, and considering the price of the property, the food at RIU Republica is much better than it should be, and I mean that as a compliment. If you want the ultimate in great vibes, energy, electricity, nonstop action, multiple parties, incredible crowd, RIU Republica is in a league of its own. RIU Republica is simply legendary. It is one of the craziest resorts in the world. It's not about the luxury or the food or the refinement or the drinks. It's about the experience and its unforgettable memories. That's why it comes in at number 2. And number 1 is RIU Palace Macao. This is my gold standard, not just of the RIUs in Punta Cana, but for RIUs all over the world. I think I've visited almost 20, and right now this is number 1 for me, even better than RIU Palace Jamaica and RIU Palace Costa Rica. Those two are held in extremely high regard. I think Macau is better. The rooms at RIU Palace Macao actually feel like standalone hotel rooms, not that cookie cutter, artificial, corner cut, typical all-inclusive resort room. It also has one of my favorite beaches, not just of the RIU complex, but in all of Punta Cana. I love how the tall palms have a pathway that naturally lead you into the ocean. It opens up and the breathtaking waters are just right there in front of you. It's a very, very cool experience. For a RIU, the food and drinks are great. The buffet at Macau is the best RIU buffet I've ever encountered up until this point. Cristal was edgy and cool. It felt like a standalone beach steakhouse that you would probably find somewhere in Cancun. And the Cuban Lounge, it was a slice of Havana, both in design and in drinks. One other thing that I really liked was the balance of this property. It's a palace, so it's going to be large, but it felt much more boutique and small than it actually was. The crowd was mature. It is adults only. They were fun, chill, outgoing, and warm. The vibe wasn't chaos, but it wasn't completely quiet either. It's like the ideal atmosphere for someone that wants to have fun and socialize underneath the umbrella of class. Well, RIU class. When you stay at RIU Palace Macao, you do get access to the other properties and of course the RIU Party Zone. But even with all of that, the property can get a little mundane after a few days. I could not imagine staying there for over a week. There is a sports bar on site if you want some late night, early morning action. My only qualm is that I wish the Cuban bar stayed open longer. It closed pretty early, and that is definitely the spot to marinate at night. The energy, the style, just the feel of the pool, it coincided with the rest of the property, but for an adults-only palace, I do wish the main pool was a tad larger. RIU might consider Bavaro Palace to be their flagship property, but I could say unquestionably the best RIU all-inclusive resort in Punta Cana is RIU Palace Macao. It's the best RIU property I've been to up until this point, and that's why it comes in at number 1.